Welcome back, first graders. It's Miss Barry here for our reading skills lesson for Wednesday now. So if you have not viewed Monday and Tuesday already and heard Tacky the Penguin, make sure you go back and see those lessons first before you view today's lesson. So today is Wednesday and we're going to continue to read Tacky the Penguin. It's super important that we reread our books because each time we read a book, we can notice something new and we get better at reading and decoding tricky words, and we see more sight words that we already know and can read them fast. So we are going to read Tacky the Penguin again today, but today we're talking about cause and effect. So our target is here. It says, I can decide the cause and effect for various events in a text. Whew, there's some tricky words in that. Let's see if you can say them with me first. Mirror, mirror with words. Perfect. Repeat after me. I can decide the cause and effect for various events in a text. Great. Whew. There's some big words in there that I want us to kind of talk about together. We already know that the word decide means we have to kind of think about it and make a decision. So I can decide the cause and effect for various events in a text. Various means that there's like more than one. There's a lot of them. There's many events in the text that we can determine a cause and effect for. So today, let's take a look back at a chart we made together about cause and effect to refresh our mind on this. So when we talked about cause and effect, we said that the cause is the reason. It's why something happened. So we've got that here. Cause, the reason why something happened. The effect is the result. What happened? Right here. The result. So I like to think about watering flowers. When I water flowers and I give them sun, they grow. So the cause of the flowers growing is watering them and giving them sun. The effect is that they grow. So I have a quick video to review cause and effect with us before we practice this skill today. So go ahead and watch that next. Just want to make sure it gets shared so you can hear the video very well. Here we go.
One kind of text structure authors use is cause and effect. A cause is why something happens. An effect is what happens. Recognizing cause and effect will help you understand and remember what you read. For example, if there were no traffic laws, cars could drive at fast and dangerous speeds with no cops to stop them. The cause, no traffic laws. The effect, dangerous roads with speeding cars. Another example, if you study for your test, you may get an A. The cause, studying for your test. The effect, getting a good grade. When looking for cause and effect in a text, look for signal words such as because, so, since, and as a result. If you see these, you may see a cause and effect. Now you try brainstorming a cause and effect relationship.
Created using Powtoon.
Effect relationship. Brainstorming a cause and effect. Try brainstorming a cause and effect relationship.
Created using Powtoon.
One kind of
Okay, my friends, so I hope that helps you just review that idea a little bit in your head. So today we're going to take a look at Tacky the Penguin again, and we're going to think about some of the events that happened in the story and decide what was the cause and what was the effect, okay? So when we're viewing the story today, I might stop and ask you some questions and have you think a little bit about what's taking place. So let's go ahead and get started.
Tacky the Penguin. Written by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. There once lived a penguin whose home was a nice, icy land he shared with his companions. His companions were named Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect.
my friends, as we're moving through the story, I want you to think about, why was Tacky such an odd bird? Let's listen.
Every day, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect greeted each other quietly and politely. Tacky greeted them with a hearty slap on the back and a loud, "What's happening?" Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. His companions were graceful divers. Tacky liked to do splashy cannonballs. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always sang pretty songs like Sunrise on the Iceberg. Tacky always sang songs like, How many toes does a fish have? Tacky was an odd bird. One day the penguins heard the thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. This could mean only one thing. Hunters had come. They came.
Okay, my friends, as we continue, I want you to be thinking about, how come the hunters thought they were going to get rich?
With maps and traps and rocks and locks, and they were rough and tough. As the thump, thump, thump drew closer, the penguins could hear the growly voices chanting, We're gonna catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march 'em with a switch, and we'll sell 'em for $1 and get rich, rich, rich. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect ran away in fright. They hid behind a block of ice. Tacky stood alone. The hunters marched right up to him, chanting, We're going to catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march 'em with a switch, and we'll sell 'em for $1 and get rich, rich, rich. What's happening? Blared Tacky, giving one hunter an especially hearty slap on the back. They growled, We're hunting for penguins. That's what's happening. Penguins? Said Tacky. Do you mean those birds that march neatly in a row? And he marched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. The hunters looked puzzled. Do you mean those birds that dive so gracefully? Tacky asked. And he did a splashy cannonball. The hunters looked wet. Do you mean those birds that sing such pretty songs? Tacky began to sing, and from behind the block of ice came the voices of his companions, all singing as loudly and dreadfully as they could. How many toes does a fish have? And how many wings on a cow? I wonder, yep, I wonder. The hunters could not stand the horrible singing. This could not be the land of the pretty penguins. They ran away with their hands clasped tightly over their ears.
My friends, I'm wondering, why did the hunters run away? Think about what just happened. Why did they run away? Okay, let's see the rest.
Leaving behind their maps and traps and rocks and locks, and not looking at all rough and tough. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around.
All right, welcome back, my friends. So throughout that story, I was asking you a couple questions that I wanted you to be thinking your answers to in your head. And right now we're going to take a look at some some events that happen in our story and decide what the cause and effect was for those events. Okay, so remember, we want to remember the cause is the reason why something happened and the effect is the result. Now, when I showed you the video at the beginning about cause and effect, we noticed that there's some key words that sometimes join our sentences, and the first word they said is because in our video. So I want us to try to use the word because to join our sentences together today to find the cause and effect. So if I take a look at this first one, it says Tacky was an odd bird. So I want to add the word because so that I can think about what the effect is. So ready? Or I'm sorry, what the cause of this is. Tacky was an odd bird because what made Tacky so odd? Yeah, I'm thinking of a couple things. He marched funny. He didn't dive like the other birds. He did cannonballs. And he dressed really funny. Yeah, he dressed odd is the word they used. So when I'm thinking about that, I want to connect it down to here. Tacky marched funny, did cannonballs into the water, and dressed odd. I'm going to go ahead and get a marker, and I'm going to draw a line between those two because this is the cause of Tacky being an odd bird, those weird things that he does. Great. Okay, let's keep going with this. The next one says, oh, I'm sorry. All the penguins hid. Why did all the penguins hide? All the penguins hid because, what did they hear? Yeah, they heard thumping, right? And they were scared. So they heard thumping in the distance and all the penguins hid. So I see that right here. The penguins heard thumping in the distance. So I'm going to connect those two. Perfect. All right. Our next one says, the hunters came with maps and traps, rocks and locks. So let's add because. The hunters came with maps and traps, rocks and locks because what were they planning to do? Were they going to catch some pretty penguins? Yeah, I agree. That sounds right. So let's connect those. The hunters came with maps and traps because they were going to catch some pretty penguins. Beautiful. Okay. Now, our next thing says the hunters were going to get rich. So let's make our sentence. The hunters were going to get rich because the hunters were going to sell the penguins for $1, or the hunters were going to get rich because the penguins could not stand Tacky's horrible singing. Yeah, they planned to sell the penguins for $1. Whew, they were going to steal them. Let's connect those two. And then that leaves these ones, but we have to make sure that they make sense because I want to know if I made any mistakes. As long as these make sense, I know I didn't make a mistake. So let's check. The hunters ran away because the penguins could not stand Tacky's horrible singing. Is that why the hunters ran away? Yeah, it is because Tacky was singing and they decided that there's no way that this was the land of beautiful penguins because that was horrible singing, not beautiful singing. So they ran away. Awesome. So we connected a lot of our cause and effects together by using the word because. Today, you're going to be also writing about cause and effect in Google Classroom, but you're going to make your own sentence using the word because. So I'm going to show you your Google Classroom assignment today so that you can get started. When you get into Google Classroom, it's going to look like this, and it's called Cause and Effect, Tacky the Penguin. All of your sentences are started, but you need to finish them. So let's do the first one together. Number 1 says, Tacky was an odd bird because. Now when I want to type the rest of my sentence, I need to click right by the line so that I can type inside this box. And once this box is blue, I know I can type. So Tacky was an odd bird because. Yeah, I'm thinking some of the same things. So because he marched funny, did cannonballs, and dressed odd. Great. So now you're going to finish the rest of these. You'll read the first part of the sentence, all the penguins hid because, and then when you click in the box, you can answer the rest of the sentence. Why did they hide? When you're all finished, you're going to submit this to me and I will see your work. So my friends, we have all the skills that we need to be able to do this successfully, and I believe in you. Remember, our target was I can decide the cause and effect for various events in a text. So that's what you're working on in Google Classroom today, and I know you're going to do a wonderful job. As always, if you need to practice and you need to hear the story again to remember some of the events, you're more than welcome to watch the video one more time. Okay? Work hard. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, first grade.